questions for Matt? I know you want to get to the Salvation Army. You need to be there.
Yeah, but I'll wait a minute.
Thank you so much for coming and speaking.
Thank you for hosting me, very much so.
Thanks for answering all of our questions.
Just one thing, have you ever heard anything about Judge Roy Moore?
Yes.
Yeah.
What's he doing?
He's running again.
Dusha probably knows
Yeah.
exactly.
He is actually running for the governor of the state of Alabama, and he is in double digits ahead in the polls right now.
Hallelujah.
Wow.
Let me tell you this, not everyone can say this that's running for the U.S. Congress in the 16th district. Back in September, where I was really struggling with, do I move forward or do I not move forward, or do I move forward or do I not move forward, guess who called me?
Yeah.
Roy Moore.
Roy Moore. He said, you got to do it. The time is right. You got to do it. Go forward.
I guess it's a safe thing to say everyone in the room knows who Judge Roy Moore is.
Yeah.
Good.
Do you-
God bless him.
Judge Roy, yeah.
Yeah, for those that don't know, Judge Roy Moore, and Dusha, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but he was pretty much removed from office in Alabama because he refused to take down the Ten Commandments.
He was the state Supreme Court, the justice for the state of Alabama, and placed a monument of the Ten Commandments in the rotunda. And I was blessed to be able to go and spend several days down at his home with his family. His daughter and I have become quite good friends, and she took me around to all the places that you know, this is where Martin Luther King walked down, you know, in Montgomery, and this is where my dad had put the Ten Commandments, and what a contrast over a 30-year period of, you know, freedom from Martin Luther King to the lack of freedom with Chief Justice Roy Moore for standing up on the principles that our country was founded on.
Some group had him here at the Ashland University.
We had him, yeah, we had him here. That actually, that was up until just recently. I think it was the largest attended event at Ashland University.
1,100, wasn't it?
Oh, 13.
13.
Yeah, 1,300. So, but he's a wonderful, godly man. His one great family, 3 grandkids now. But he's just.
I must have gotten this email 10 times in my life, but there it comes in, and the percentage varies a little bit, but it's 87%, 82%. We're all Christians, and if people are all telling us not to do things, why don't the 82% just tell them to sit down and shut up? I mean, you know what? What's so complicated about that?
Well, the problem was that he was removed from office by the powers that be at the time. He actually resigned.
But if we're
is what happened.
truly a
But-
representative republic,
Yeah.
But it's- see, that's just it.
tell them
We're still working on that. That representative republic.
well, I mean, you know, we're not a democracy.
We're not a democracy.
Well,
That's-
as I mentioned Thursday,
progress, let's say.
according to the Declaration of Independence, that our elected leaders only have power through the consent of the governed. And the problem we have is, as our current representatives, a lot of them are not acting with the consent of the governed. They're doing their own independent thing, irregardless of what the 82% want.
But they get reelected.
Well, that's
So
where
whose fault is that?
that gets important is that, yeah, right now, so what if they don't pass cap and trade and some of these other things? The EPA is already making the law rules, and they're not in a position where they should be doing that, to regulate businesses as if cap and trade was in existence or was passed. He controls the purse strings. And if Matt can get along with enough other conservatives to say, you want to do that, fine, you get no money. But they don't, Congress has not stood up for itself in a long time. It's just been a rubber stamp for the administration. Maybe not the president, because they didn't like President Bush, but all these unelected bureaucrats that have been running Washington since the 60s.
You just got to remember who put you in there. When even as a county commissioner, the people that you hang around with every day are the people those are the views they shape your views if you're not careful. And so when you're a congressman and you go to Washington, and now you're constantly among other people, in many instances that are very affluent, and it becomes the talk. And Capitol Hill's all about money and campaigns, Democrat and Republican. It's not half as much about principle and about laws as it is special interests and money exchange. That's what it's about. And so it's very easy, I could see for these guys, even though I guess I've not been there, but I can see it's very easy to lose sight of, wait a second, I'm accountable to the men and women back home. They're the ones I'm supposed to be thinking of. And I know that it has to be a challenge because as a commissioner, going to work every day at the courthouse, and we have good men and women in our leadership positions here locally, but it was so easy at times to start listening to the voice of those within government versus what the man on the street would be thinking. You know, does that make sense? For example, the other office holders, they might be thinking, yes, we need tax increase because we need new furniture, or we need more space, or we need this. But that view's a totally different than the men and women that are living out in the county. They're saying you need to downsize, you need to do with less. You see what I'm saying? You have to be very careful, and over again. And some of my votes as commissioner, there were times when you saw I was the lone vote against tax increases. It was, and I would tell everyone that, I'd say, it's one thing to sit here and listen to a judge tell us they want all of this. It's another thing to listen to the people who are saying, do with what you have, make do. We can't afford anything more right now. And hopefully you noticed there, during those particular times and discussions, I tried to remain true to you, the people, by saying you should make the decision. If you're the ones paying the bill, then it should be on the ballot, so you make the choice. Whenever possible, I think you will not go wrong if a right or a right or responsibility is allowed or given to the people, they should have it, even if you're their representative. That's the purest form of American democracy, is to give you the right to directly decide.
But you can never tip the balance towards a paradigm. You have to stay on principle.
Yeah.
Well, I'm of the convinced that the less Washington does, the better off the people.
I tell most groups when I speak, because
Fight, and don't let it get passed.
People come up and get in your face all the time, and they'll tell me. So if I elect you as my representative, what are you going to do for me?
Nothing.
First of all, I'll stand there and I think to myself, you realize that's exactly why we're in this mess. Because everyone seems to think the government needs to do something for them. The government will do the best for you if it moves itself out of your life. And I will tell you, I've told other groups, I honestly believe that I will be doing America and our people the greatest favor if I go to Washington and focus on eliminating and eradicating and doing away with all of these laws, programs, policies, and spending packages that are seeking the country. It is not my mission to go to Washington and pass a bunch of new laws and a bunch of new proposals and programs and benefits. It's to clean up the ones that are causing us great suffering as a people and as an economy.
And defend the country.
And defend the country. Well,
That's what we should
Do
do.
one thing, defund the czars.
Oh.
It's going to return to you the responsibility that should never been taken from you in the first place.
All right, thank
Last
you.
chance for questions.
No.
Nope, all you say, nobody's gotta go. All right, let's give Matt a big. Before we
I
all-
appreciate your vote.
Yeah.
And if you'd like a yard sign, we've got yard signs.
Okay.